Daddy. Same alien girl outside human's door every morning for 3 years. The first morning Michael found her, he thought he was still drunk. He'd stumbled to his apartment door at 6:47 a.m., drawn by a sound he couldn't quite identify. Not a knock, not a scratch, but something in between. When he opened the door, she was there, a small figure, no higher than his waist, with skin the color of twilight and eyes that held more stars than the night sky.
She didn't speak.
She simply looked up at him with those impossible eyes, clutching something small and furry against her chest, some kind of creature he'd never seen before. Her ears were pointed, her hair fell in silvery waves past her shoulders, and she wore what looked like a child's attempt at human clothing, an oversized sweater and mismatched boots. "Hello," Michael had said, his voice rough with sleep. She tilted her head, studying him with an intensity that made him uncomfortable. Then, without a word, she turned and walked down the hallway, disappearing around the corner. Michael stood there for a full minute, wondering if he'd imagined it. He went back inside, made coffee, and tried to convince himself it had been a dream. But the next morning, at 6:47 a.m. exactly, she was there again. And the morning after that. And every morning for 3 years. Michael never got used to it, not really. He tried everything at first, asking her questions, offering her food, calling building security. She never answered, never accepted anything, and security cameras somehow never caught her on film. She would simply appear at his door, wait for him to open it, stare at him with those ancient, knowing eyes, and then leave. He named her Nova, though he never said it aloud. The routine became part of his life, as fixed as breathing. He'd wake at 6:45, shuffle to the door, and there she'd be. Sometimes the creature in her arms was different. Sometimes it looked like a rabbit, other times like something with too many legs. But she was always the same, silent, watchful, waiting. Michael's life continued around this strange ritual. His job at the terraform engineering firm, his occasional dates that never went anywhere, his Thursday poker nights with friends who wouldn't believe him if he told them. He stopped trying to explain it, even to himself. But 3 years is a long time to see someone every single day without learning something about them. He noticed, for instance, that she looked sadder when it rained, that the creature she carried seemed to change based on Earth seasons, that on the anniversary of his mother's death, a date he'd never told anyone, she'd stayed an extra 30 seconds, as if she knew he needed the company. Then came the morning everything changed. It was a Tuesday in late autumn, the kind of morning where frost painted the windows white. Michael opened the door at 6:47, expecting the familiar ritual. But Nova wasn't standing. She was sitting on the floor, her back against his doorframe, and the creature in her arms was perfectly still. "Hey," Michael said, alarmed by the break in pattern. "Are you okay?" For the first time in 3 years, she looked directly into his eyes and spoke. Her voice was like music played on instruments humans had never invented. "Do you know what it means," she said, "to watch someone who doesn't remember you?" Michael's heart stopped.
"What?"
She stood slowly, cradling the motionless creature. "My name is Novelith. 3 years and 47 days ago, you found me in a crash scout ship near the terraform site. I was dying. The radiation poisoning should have killed me in hours." Michael's mind reeled. I don't remember any crash." "No," she said softly. "You wouldn't. The medical procedure that saved my life required a transfusion, not of blood, but of memory. Human neural patterns to override the cellular death. You gave me 3 years of your memories, Michael Chin. Everything from when you were 7 to when you were 10. The world tilted. Michael grabbed the doorframe for support. "Your mother used to make you pancakes shaped like animals," Nova continued. Your father taught you to identify constellations. You had a dog named Rocket who slept at the foot of your bed. You were afraid of thunderstorms until your mother taught you to count the seconds between lightning and thunder, turning fear into a game of mathematics. Tears were streaming down Michael's face, though he didn't know why. Those memories felt distant, faded, like photographs left too long in sunlight. I've been coming here every morning, Nova said, because in those memories, you came to your father's workshop every morning before school. It was your routine, your anchor. I hoped that if I did the same thing, created the same pattern, maybe some part of you would remember. Remember what? Michael whispered. That you saved me. Her voice broke. That you gave up part of yourself to give me a future. That for 3 years, I've been trying to be worthy of that sacrifice. Michael sank to his knees, level with her now. Up close, he could see she was crying too, tears that shimmered like liquid starlight. The creature, he managed. The thing you always carry. A memory keeper, she said. For my world. It's been dying, just like that part of you I carry. Today is the last day I can use it. She held out the small, furry being. In the early morning light, Michael could see it was breathing barely. I can give them back, Nova said. Your memories. Every morning of pancakes and constellation lessons and the dog at your feet. But if I do, I'll forget why I'm here. I'll forget the human who taught me that strangers can become family, that sacrifice is love made visible. I'll forget you, Michael, the same way you forgot saving me. Michael looked at this small, impossible being who had stood at his door for 3 years. He thought about patterns and routines, about showing up every single day, even when it meant nothing to the person you were showing up for. He thought about love as a choice you make every morning at 6:47 a.m.
Keep them, he said.
Michael. Keep them, he repeated more firmly. I don't need to remember making that choice to know it was the right one. And maybe, he smiled through his tears. Maybe we can make new memories. Starting tomorrow. At 6:47. Nova stared at him, her starlit eyes wide with wonder. Then she smiled, a real smile, the first he'd ever seen from her, and it was like watching a sun rise on an alien world. Tomorrow, she agreed, but not through a doorway.
Come with me.
Let me show you my world, the one you gave me the chance to return to. Let me introduce you to my people, who call you the human who remembered, even though you forgot. Michael stood, his decision made. What should I call you? Because I've been calling you Nova in my head, and... Novalith, she said, taking his hand with her small, 3-fingered one. But my father always called me Nova. Your father? She squeezed his hand gently. The word doesn't translate perfectly, but the closest meaning in your language would be the one who gives you life, even at cost to themselves. The one who shows up every day, even when you don't understand why. Michael felt something break open in his chest, not a wound, but a door he hadn't known was closed. Daddy, she whispered, testing the word. And Michael, who had opened his door every morning for 3 years to a mystery, finally understood what he'd been answering all along. Yes, he said. Let's go home.